Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello? Let's try this one. He says we have an issue with that one.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Cade Museum for our Tuesday Gainesville Rotary meeting. If you're watching on YouTube, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotarygainesville.org. Up first to lead us in song and pledge, Tom Collette.
Thank you, everybody. Whoa, hey. Hey, did you hear that GPD is investigating a case of a stolen toilet? They have one problem, they have nothing to go on. I'm just trying to imitate Pete. I thought today I would sing God Bless America. Are you ready? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Now please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for our invocation, Lori Vidal.
Thank you. Hello. Before I pray, I just wanted to highlight one thing since we have a very special speaker today. Did you know that 4 of the 12 original disciples of Christ were professional fishermen? Peter, Andrew, James, and John were in the fishing business on Sea of Galilee and were hardworking, godly men. Now, on the godly part, it's interesting because most of the fishermen that I've gotten to know seem to struggle, I think, a little bit with the core value of Rotary, and that is it the truth? Is it really this big? Well, how big is that fish? One of the things that's really helped in this regard is cell phones. You take a picture. You know exactly how long it is. There you go. Let's pray together. What a joy it is truly to see a person isolate a discipline they love and develop it to a professional level that allows them to make it their vocational pursuit. And what a joy it is to see so many competitive sports develop at amazing levels of excellence like professional fishing. Thank you, Creator God, for allowing us to be entertained by professionals in fishing and to be encouraged to enjoy the recreation of being on the water around us on this peninsula called Florida. We are so blessed to live where we live. I pray in your creative name. Amen.
We invite our guests and visiting Rotarians to remain standing to introduce yourselves to the club. Tom will be bringing around the microphone.
Fellow Rotarians, I have as my guest today James Blythe, a very good friend of mine. He's a local architect. He is the founding principal of BXP Architects. Please welcome James.
Hello, Rotarians. I heard you loud and clear you wanted more lawyers here. So sometimes in life, you're given a guide, someone who shows you the way. And this man right here, Evans Pierre-Antoine, was my first law partner. He taught me almost everything I know, and I would not be the lawyer I am without him. So I brought him today. Sometimes when you're up against an adversary, you can become actual better friends than your own allies, and that's Andrew McCain. He used to be a state attorney here. Now he's in private practice. He was a very decent human being and a very fair prosecutor, and I brought him as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Davis Rembert, and I have my son Jonathan, who has been a member of this club a long time ago.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'm Jay Hutto, and I brought with me as my guest, Mark Waldorf. He's the owner of Gatorland Kubota.
Thanks, Jay.
Welcome to all.
Thank you all for joining us today. Up now with an update on the mini libraries, Greg Young.
We love you, Greg.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, after about 2 years and a lot of perseverance, the Mini Library Committee finally pulled off the completion of the project, and we have installed 5 libraries, starting with this one. That was at the Early Learning Center out at Southwest Advocacy Group area, the Early Learning Center. Then there was one placed at the Swag Center also, so they have 2 out there, and they actually have books in them now. So that was sort of partially completed. Then the next one was at a early learning center, Persimmon School on 6th Street. I think that's the next in the queue. There you go. That was a cold morning. We had some Rotaract people, Patrick Irby. Champ Lozano was a stalwart with this. He was instrumental in getting this over the line. Morgan Killingsworth was the one who brought that to us. She's a UF student, and she did an Interact project in high school in Jacksonville with the Rotary clubs up there, and she brought that project to us, and we said we'd do it with her. And so she was the one driving this, and she makes sure they all have books through the G&V for All group, through her UF community. The next one was at another location of the Persimmon School in the Millhopper area. And our last one, which was completed just recently, as I said, Champ, he was the man. We installed that, and now we can say it's done. So anyway, I want to thank everybody, and I'm glad we were able to do this, install 5 libraries in communities that needed them. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And now to introduce a new member Craft Talk, Rennie Henderson.
Hello, everybody. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Nancy Short. Although she was actually born and raised in a small town in Ohio, she really considers herself to be much more of a Floridian than an Ohioan. She moved to Tampa right after high school with her parents, and after living there for a few years, she settled here in Gainesville, where she's made it her home for the past 35 years. And for the last 31 years, she and her husband, John, have raised their 3 children on a piece of property in Jonesville. Nancy's always been in sales, beginning first at the Gainesville Health and Fitness, studying under Joe, and then later she got into outside sales, selling print advertising for magazines. She worked for multiple ones, such as the Mint magazine, the Gainesville Today, and the Our Town, and that's actually how we met, because we were both in the same industry. Nancy is an active member of a lot of different organizations and boards and business groups, and I just thought she was a natural fit for Rotary. So it's my pleasure to introduce Nancy Short.
All right, thank you, Rennie, for that very nice introduction. I'll try not to be too repetitive. I realize that I'm a note taker, so I did have some of this to share with you. When Rennie mentioned the Rotary, I must admit I didn't know a whole lot about the club. What is a Rotarian? So I did a little research, I met with a few of you, and I read that your core principle is service above self, where individuals prioritize serving others and their community. This aligns right along with my beliefs and my personal core values that I carry along in my personal and my work life. So thank you for having me here today, and I'm just going to share a little bit about me, my why, family first, always above everything. I am a mother of total of 4 children. My husband and I, John, married 31 years ago. We each had a daughter, and together we had 2 more boys. We have 7 grandchildren and 1 on the way. Not me. My daughter. I am fortunate that my kids live close by and I get to see them often and share in their lives on a daily basis. It's simply the best gift that a parent can have is to see the successes and the challenges that your children go through. It just brings the biggest smile to my face. I don't know about all of you, but I see a few of you nodding your head in agreement with that. It chokes me up a little bit, to be honest. Woo-hoo. For over 30 years of raising our family on a peaceful 5 acres in Jonesville, I've worked outside sales, as Rennie said, and advertising. Many of you know me from the Gainesville Today magazine. Who here remembers the Gainesville Today? I'm even going to take it back one further. Do y'all remember the ad sheet or best deals owned by USA Today? That was me. Mint magazine, and then most recently, I worked 13 years with Charlie Delatorre with the Our Town magazine. In addition to working for print, 9 years ago, I became involved with BNI. What is that? It's a business network international. It's the world's largest business networking organization. BNI has been a very, very big part of my life, and I have developed friendships and learned so much about business, networking, public speaking, although you may not know that. I'm nervous as a cat up here. 2 years ago, I applied to be a chapter success coach where I am currently overseeing 3 Gainesville chapters here in Gainesville. I learned about the St. Francis House through my BNI chapter. That's where I'm going with all of this. It's a great segue. I was drawn to this nonprofit and their mission. About 3 years ago, I started to volunteer for St. Francis House, assisting with their fundraising. This past November, while volunteering for St. Francis, I was invited to join the team as a full-time director of community relations. I got to tell you guys, I did not see this coming, and I thought, am I absolutely out of my mind? At 59 years old, I'm going to change careers. Yep, that's what I did. I considered it, I prayed about it, I talked to my peers, and after about 2 months of reflection, I decided to follow my heart, finish my working years where I know I can make a difference. St. Francis was established by Father Baker in 1980. His objective was to provide the necessities needed to help hunger, in this community. Fast forward to 2025. What is the St. Francis House? We are a nonprofit providing shelter for women and families with children who are temporarily, sorry, I get choked up on this. I'm quite passionate about my family and what I do for a living. Sorry, guys. We provide shelter, food, case managers, and help these families create new futures. It was very humbling for me about 5 months ago when I started this job to sit there and see 40 residents, and over half of them are children, experiencing homelessness. This is my job now. I am the face of St. Francis, and I'm here to raise awareness. Thank you for allowing me to share today, and I would love to get to know each and every one of you better. Thank you.
You're a hard one to catch. Nancy, thank you so much for giving your craft talk.
Thank you.
Welcome to the club.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, where are we going? Hugs, handshakes. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, last Thursday we had a great time. About 20 of us descended on the hip for a sip and stroll. It was a great time. Thank you, Greg, for putting that together. I think we got ideas for a couple more socials in the near future, so keep an ear out. This is our lovely group. We had a great time. It was really interesting, something I've been looking forward to for a long time. So sincerely, thank you, Greg, for your effort to put that together. And then a handful of us went over to the Daytona, or Palm Coast rather, for the district training assembly. That was a fun event. Yeah, thank you, Jacob. Want to remind everybody, something new that we're doing. We'll be doing this on the third Thursday of every month. Just get together, socialize, network. Our format in the club on our regular meetings doesn't really allow for a lot of that. So I've heard from a number of you that you would like more opportunities for that. We'll continue to do interesting and fun things like the sip and stroll at the hip. But this will be every third Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30. It'll be quick. No real schedule or objective, just an opportunity for us to get together. And we'll change locations around. So May 15th is the first one. It'll be at Grand Scheme at South Main Street Station, just down across the block here. The Harley Davidson of Gainesville has asked us to be the recipient of their proceeds from the 24th annual hog roast. That'll be May 17th, so we'll set up a tent and share with people about Rotary and what we do, and enjoy some good food. If you're able to attend that, you're welcome to join us. And then the district conference, there's some flyers up at the front. And I sent an email out this morning. So that'll be June 6th and 7th. Registration closes June 2nd, but the hotel registration closes May 10th. So if you're interested in doing that, they've split up the training assembly and the conference. Usually those are back-to-back Friday, Saturday. They're doing something a little special with the district conference this year. They'll have some incredible speakers, great entertainment, great food, really doing something special. This is over in Daytona at I believe it's the Hyatt Resort there on the beach, oceanfront. So it should be a great time. Hopefully some of you can join us. With that, I would like to invite John Gregory to introduce today's speaker.
You all are expecting a poem, is that right? Take a fish who talks, that's fine, but I haven't found one to align. So to communicate, we're here to relate. You simply drop it a line. Shaw Grigsby is here. Hopefully you read the promo for it, but he has actually been fishing with me back in '82, and that's when I decided that I would become a permanent bass fisherman. I failed at that, so but Shaw actually was able to achieve it. One of the things I think about Shaw is that when he first started fishing, the IRS did not recognize it at all. What do you mean fishing? He can't fish. Yes, he can, and he did. He's won over $2.5 million now in fishing. By the way, when he was fishing before, he would always know how to fish bedding fish. He would be able to see them and be able to work on them in order to get them to bite. Big fish, big fish is what he actually caught. But he usually won when he came in as well. But anyway, I will not take more of his time. I will allow you to meet Shaw Grigsby.
Well, thank you guys. It's great to be here. And I tell you what, I'm already inspired because, the first thing we did was say a prayer. And I can tell you the number one thing in my life is Jesus Christ. So that's really awesome. I don't know anything about Rotary, so sorry. And I didn't come up and study it ahead of time, but I am honored to be here. And I always love talking about what I do, and Born and raised here in Gainesville. I turned 69 in a couple weeks, so I've had a lot of years right here. And went to PK Young, and I got to tell you, I like starting off with something a little funny, but I was the outdoor kid at PK Young, and so my biology teacher was Virginia Allen, which was Ross Allen's wife, ex-wife, and Ross Allen ran the Reptile Institute in Silver Springs in Ocala, which was, he was the world's foremost authority on poisonous snakes. So this is how cool high school was when I was younger. I brought and put on the desk of Virginia Allen a live cottonmouth and a live rattlesnake. Yeah. And she loved it. And we didn't have to put signs on it, This was before stupid came into the world, We didn't have to put signs on it that says, do not touch and don't try to outsmart him and whatever. But we fed him in school. But anyway, one day I'm sitting in math class, and she comes and drags me out of math class. We need Sean Grigsby. And I'm like, what for? I walk with her. They pull me out of math class, and I'm walking down. She says, there's an alligator in the creek, and we don't want a kid to get bit by the alligator. And I'm like, come on. I mean, I'm just a kid, too. The only alligators I'd ever caught was on like a buzz bait or something fishing. And anyway, I had to go down and do just what we do with snakes. It was in the creek. She waded out with me, which is really cool. I snuck up behind it, and it's probably just less than 4 feet. He was like a 3.5 footer, and I snuck up behind him laying on the bottom and grabbed him behind the head just like you would a snake, real quick, grabbed him, and I didn't realize how powerful they were at that moment. He started splashing, ripping water, hitting me with his tail, and I finally got a hold of his tail and subdued him, and then she undid my belt and wrapped it around his mouth, cinched it down, and we took him to another teacher's pond and let him go. But that's how cool my high school was, okay? I mean, a lot of fun. So anyway, I started fishing. I fished, with the local club, and then expanded on. My family was big outdoors people, hunting, fishing, and camping and all. And it just, one thing led to another. I started catching fish and started doing good in tournaments and local tournaments. And next thing you know, I go out as a professional in 1984. I fished my first professional tournament in 77, but I didn't go professional until 84. So I've been fishing a long time. And it's been, most blessed human in the world to be able to do something that you love, that most people pay to go do, and I get paid for doing that. That's, like I said, I'm an extremely blessed person. But anyway, so I fish for a living. I travel all over the country, compete in tournaments. You have amazing highs and amazing lows. You win this one, and it's the joy of victory, and then you lose a fish, an 8-pounder on the side of the boat, and it's agony of defeat. So you have a lot of that through a tournament, and in any professional sport, anything that you compete. And like John said, it was pretty cool because I had fished professionally for probably 10, 15 years, and I still had people come up to me and go, "You ever get a real job?" And it's like our days start at sometimes 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and they don't end until like 10 o'clock at night, and you get a few hours of sleep, and you start it again during a tournament. And that'll go on for a week. Sometimes they're back-to-back, so you go 2 weeks. And I think the most I was away is about eight weeks straight that I was away from home, without coming home. One year, I think it was 320 days that I was away one year. So that was an extensive deal. And so it's a lot more than just wetting a line and having fun. I do a lot more wetting line and having fun right now. So my career is going to end. It ends this year. I'm retiring finally from professional fishing. The last tournament is going to be on the St. Lawrence River, which I don't know if anybody's fished the St. Lawrence River. It is smallmouth heaven. I can't think of a better place to end my career to be in one of the places that I consider to be the best fisheries that you can go have. So giant smallmouth, it's going to be a lot of fun, and then I'll pack it up. And what's in store for me is nuisance gator trapping. So I started working with the nuisance gator trapper, Captain Ron Sanderson. He donates trips, by the way, at CCA banquets and things like that. So if you ever want to enjoy a time of grabbing an alligator, that's That's the one. Get the trip with Ron, and it's a lot of fun. So what we do is we don't kill them. So we're live capturing these alligators now, and which puts a whole different meaning to gator hunting. You know, it's we get out there and it's rod and reel, so it's like catching a 10-pounder every time I go. In fact, when I was driving to come here, I get a call on the phone, and he says that unfortunately this gentleman had his dog, his family dog, got eaten just a couple days ago. And we tried yesterday, well, Sunday, what's today, Tuesday, it was Sunday afternoon. I got home from an event down at Melbourne, and we went out trying to get this gator and was unable. Got 2 small ones, but didn't get the one that ate the dog. Well, he just called and said he's there right now. So I'm busy here, Captain Ron's busy at another deal, and so my grandson has taken the mantle, and he has grabbed a couple fishing rods, and he's off to try to catch this thing. As a 18-year-old, hasn't graduated from high school, he graduates in a couple weeks, so he's off to do that. So anyway, hopefully when I get done, I'll hear they're hooked up, and I can drive over there and jump in the boat. And they got a little John boat sitting there waiting, and hopefully he snuck up on him and got a good cast on him. So we do it rod and reel. Cast on them, hook them up, fight them up. We grab them, tape them when you get them real tired. Now, I want to show a video here. Are you all interested in nuisance gator? Yeah, okay. So the yellow ball. So this is one we got out of Wahlberg just the other day. And so what we're doing, we got to make sure he's really tired, because if you go to grab him, he can grab you. But if you can tap him, see how he's not responding much? And this is a rubber ball, so it doesn't bother him, but it's just like something touching him. So he's pretty tired. That's a good gator. And the way you measure him, I mean, the rough guess of it is from his nose to his eyeballs, and that one's going to be 8. I'm going to say he's over 8. It's possible he could be 9. So he's somewhere in that neighborhood, and we're close. What do you think?
9.5 to be exact.
Oh, see, he is not ready. He is definitely not ready. So, thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, we don't. Charlie, you knocked me over. My granddaughter's there, and she was having fun too. She got to get on top of him and take a picture with him. But she's been on a number of captures with me, and my daughter. I've taken them all. It's a lot of fun. But you can see we hook them lines. So you saw a couple lines hanging off of him, and with trebles, and they just pop right out. And then we'll put them in a trailer, and they'll go to some gator farm. So some farms use them for eggs, and some farms do. They just, every one of them, the farms have different usage for the gators, but they'll go to the farm. So it's kind of a fun deal to do. And what's cool is I always worried, and you know, a lot of you guys are retired, and a lot of you guys are not, but the retirees always said, you know, what am I going to do when I retire from fishing? I love fishing, but I'm not a great self-motivator. I have to have something pushing me to go. You know, like right now, they tell me I got to be here. You know, a sponsor says I have to be there. I get up and go. I have to be at a tournament. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to go. I have to be there. And I thought, you know, what am I going to do when I sit at home? And you know, I'm not the best guy to go out there and say, well, I'm going to fix the fence on my property, or I'm going to go do this, right? So now I'm inspired, because it's fishing, and it's fishing for big things, and it's exciting. And yes, it's very dangerous. And just like you saw that one, y'all want to see any more videos? All right, what all we have on the list?
Take care of one of those.
Like 3 bullet holes. How about yeah? Well, don't do that one. Go to the one that says. You can see. It's my little finger goes in there. Hang on, we're going. Well, it's not playing anyway, but can you read me a couple of them? We're going down. That's the one. Y'all want to see this one? We're going down. Come on. And I can. It's definitely not. Oh, now we're taking on water. Y'all ready to swim? Hang on, we're going. Oh, now we're taking on water. Y'all ready to swim? Let him go down some. There you go. Now we're going. I don't have a pointer, but if you look in the corner of the boat here, just a second. So
We don't
This is done with a chesty, but right where my grandson's foot is, he just tried to cover it up. But look right.
This
Right
is
there.
funny. That gator just bit through our boat.
Look at the
We
water
sprung a
pouring
leak.
in right there.
We're going down.
So we're dragging.
Hey, we need that rope pretty quick. We need the rope quick.
So the whole front of the boat as a whole. So we're dragging this 11-1, and we're dragging him in. We got him lassoed. Normally we tape him over the boat, but we didn't because there was just so much stuff going on. So we're dragging him in, trying to get him to the bank. We're going to drag him up on the bank, then jump on him and tape him. Well, he touched the boat, and it's an aluminum John boat, 3 of us in it. He hit it so hard, the whole boat shook. I was back trying to push the boat in, and the boat just, and I'm like, what in the world? And I turn around, and there it is, 3 holes in the boat, water shooting in, and we got a mad 11-footer right beside us, and we're figuring, well, we're going to be swimming with this gator, and that wasn't a good thought, but we got my grandson up, so you saw him kind of stand up at the end, and he worked his way, he's a big kid, so he worked his way past the middle seat where Ron was sitting and got in the back with me, and that lifted the John boat up, so now it's not taking on water. We still had a lot in the back. And then I called over some guys that are on the bank, this is the property owner, and he got a big rope out of my truck, and I cast one of our gator rods over to him, and he cut the hook off and tied the rope on, reeled the rope in, then we held the rope, and he hooked it to a 4-wheeler and drug our boat up the bank. So we were having a good time. Then we got to jump on top of him and tape him up and go like that. So anyway, that one that you see, the one that you had before showed the holes real well. That's the bullet hole one.
Like
So
3
there
bullet
it is.
holes. That's the teeth marks. But
The 3 holes.
yeah,
And
you can see
but
it's my
they're
little
pretty
finger
good
goes
size
in
holes.
there.
But you can
That's the
stop
little
that
one. This one's the big one. Another one.
That's
Another
it.
one.
Anyway, so we can stop that one and go to another one. That's the gator, 11-footer. So let me look at that, see if there's any other good ones up there. But any of them are fun. And Crystal Canal, that's a good one. You see that Crystal Canal? Oh, this one. So I was at Orange Lake. That's my flipping stick out of my bass boat. We're at Orange Lake, and I get a call for one in Micanopy. So we go out there, and I just take my flip stick. I had one of the hooks in the boat, and I cast out there and hooked this guy. And then we lasso him. So this is a top jaw. What we call when we get the rope in there, we got to do that.
Who's got tape?
Then we just hold his mouth down.
Right, run, get tape.
And then tape him up. So that's pretty much what we do. We keep them alive and tape them up. So, that was one of those quick deals. I'm fishing with my grandson, and we're having a fun day, and we're about ready to leave, and the phone rings and says, hey, we got one in Micanopy. I said, well, I'm already there. So I just pull in with my bass boat. I didn't have any of my gator stuff with me, so fortunately Ron showed up after I'd hooked him and fought him a little bit. He almost spooled my little bass reel, but we got him in. So we get all kinds. I've got them out of people's swimming pools in their backyard, front porches. It's on campus. I don't know. I think I've caught 4 at the Wawa on Archer Road. It's awesome. It's just, it's cool, because you have either UPD or GPD, and they're holding there, so the gators over here, and they keep their distance, and we go up and slip a lasso on them, and then fight them around a bit, and then tape him, and so that was, okay, here's my best story. I don't have any video on this. Ron's in the hospital. He's having some issue with gallbladder. So he's in the hospital. He gets a call. FWC, when you call the 1-800 number to report a nuisance gator, that the nuisance gator's, trying to get something, then you call it into FWC. FWC calls Ron, issues the certificate for us to go get it, and then we take off and go get it. Ron gets this call, and he says, the lady from FWC says, we just got a call from FedEx. Anybody here work for FedEx? FedEx, Gainesville Airport. I didn't even know there was a FedEx out at Gainesville Airport. Anyway, it was on the, on the far side. So anyway, I know FedEx out on 34th, you cross over 441. Anyway, so he said FedEx out there. He said, it's a 15-footer. They called in a 15-foot alligator. That's like a world record alligator, right? And Ron said, it can't be a 15-footer. That'd be like a world record. He said, okay, so they put it down as a 10-footer. Ron's dying. I mean, he's in the hospital. He's like, man, because this is our deal. It's like catching a 12 or 13 pound bass. You're like, oh my gosh, it's a big one. We got to go get the deal. So we're all excited. So I grabbed my grandson, right? And he says, you got to go get this thing and I can't go with you. And I'm like, yes. So we get in the truck, we load our stuff and we take off and we're screaming through Gainesville. We come down, 121 out there, hit the airport, go out there, pull into FedEx. I even pull into the wrong entrance and I see her standing over there. Okay, we wheel around, come over there. She grab my card. An access card where the gates will open up and the big trucks go in and load everything. So I grab her card through the fence, I swipe it, hand it back to her, jump in the car, and we're just so excited, to go for a big old gator. Because imagine putting a lasso on a 10 or 12 footer and both Bryce and I are having to wrap the line around us and try to hold on to it. I'm just really excited, right? So I said, have you seen him? Because this thing you can't miss. He's huge, right? 15 foot. He goes, yep, Gramps. He's right there. And I went, where? He goes, right there. Amazing. They're so scared of alligators that they say, it's a 15-foot. This thing isn't even 5 feet long. It's like this. I went down there, slipped the nose over and did like this. Didn't wait for anything. Bryce just grabbed him behind the head, just like really taped him, threw him in the bag. Thank you very much. We took off. So, and then just the opposite, we get a call, I-75 northbound rest area, right? Now I live southbound I-75. So, I'm on I-75 at Williston Road, but for me to get to the northbound rest area, I got to go all the way down to Micanopy, turn around all the way back up to go 100 yards right there. So I pull in and they said it's a 4-footer. That's what they said. The call is a 4-footer. I said, let's go catch a 4-footer, So we go down and it's one of those nasty ponds. It's got green slime all over it, wrappers, candy wrappers, junk all over it. I can't see a gator. So I get my binoculars. Now, this pond is not much bigger than this room, okay? It's pretty small. You can see it all. So now I'm looking for details. I want to see something. I finally find 2 eyeballs sticking up and a nose. And I went, ooh, 2 eyeballs and a nose. Remember the deal? Nose to eyeballs gives you about that one. By the way, that one was 9.5 up there. So I went, this isn't a 4-footer. And so anyway, we get out there, finally cast, hook it. I had a buddy with me from Arkansas. He hooks it. He's fighting it around in this pond. Then my grandson puts a second hook. So now we got him on 2 because sometimes they can lose the hook or break off and you don't want to end up losing the gator. So now we're pulling him with 2 and we can't do much with him because he's pretty good. So now we get our big throw hook, which is on a big cord. And, it's one of those big trebles. He throws it out there and he pulls it in, and now he's fighting it, holding on, getting drugged back down to the body of water, and just pulling, fighting it. And finally, we got a lasso on it and drag it up, and it was 10-1. So I don't know how people measure alligators, but sometimes they're just a little off, just a little. But we sure have a good time. I'm sure excited about the future. And I didn't want to spend all my time telling stories and showing videos. I got a lot more videos. He's going, there was a lot more videos on there, and I could do that. I do want to open it up for questions. I know John said I only had like 30 minutes, and I don't know how much time I've taken it up, but I'd love for somebody, any questions, if you want to ask me questions about fishing, about the profession of bass fishing, any of that stuff that you want to ask, or about nuisance gator trapping, I'll do my best to answer every one of them. Anybody got anyone? There we go.
How are you, Lauren
I'm doing
Elliott?
great.
Wanted to ask you a question about the professional fishing industry.
Yes.
I was recently listening to a podcast that was absolutely fascinating. It talked about the criminal element of professional fishing, which I thought was really fascinating.
So,
where people are cheating,
yes,
right, and putting weights in fish, and then going to jail because in some states it's illegal to do that for
It's
fishing.
very illegal.
So I'm very interested to get your take on
Yes, I'm happy you brought that one up because that's a black eye on the sport. So as we started tournament fishing, you know, it's like when John and I fished, it was a draw tournament. So John and I'd be fishing together. Then there's a series of tournaments that are buddy tournaments where you have a friend. So I could say, hey, John, you want to fish with me? And those tournaments tend to have situations where because they're buddies, they can do some cheating in. Professional tournaments really hard. So like we have cameras in the boats, every one of us. We used to have GoPros filming every minute of everything we do. We also now have this new camera. It's a Vosker security cam that live streams it. So our guys see everything we're doing all the time. You know, it's a little tough when you have to take a whiz. You know, you got to go to the back and get out of the way of the camera and all, but a couple guys have forgotten about that. Little embarrassing, must admit. But anyway, so yes, you know, people find it's amazing their creativity in finding ways to do things, and criminal elements in everything you have. I mean, it doesn't matter what you have, but fortunately in our sport, we don't have that. But you did mention, I mean, if you have a disqualification or something where they violated the rules, it usually means they got information when they weren't supposed to. So they talked to somebody that's really good, and it's supposed to be a level playing field, so you're not supposed to do that. Or something minor like they didn't get their life jacket on, or they did something really just little things. So we don't have anything real major in any of the BASS or Major League Fishing tournaments that we fish. The cool thing when you started, I thought you were going to ask about the sport. Let me tell you a little bit about the sport. When I started, we had 6 tournaments, professional tournaments. Now we have junior angler clubs that before they get in high school, they're fishing tournaments. And there's bunches of those. They have high school clubs competing all over the nation. They have like 900 and something clubs in Alabama. There's like 800 in Tennessee. They're everywhere. So we're talking these kids now, they get out of high school and they have college scholarships for fishing. Full rides to different colleges all over the country. Okay? How cool. I'd have graduated U of F if I'd had a full ride going there. You know, because I'd have fished. So my dad was a professor at UF, and he was just beyond himself that I would be going to school carrying a full load, and it would be springtime, and it'd turn beautiful weather, and I go, I'm going fishing. And so he really didn't like that. I dropped out a number of times, you know, but I made it okay. So he was pretty happy when I won my first $100,000 check, and I'm holding up. And as a college professor, I think the most he ever made was maybe 30-something thousand, you know, back in the day, because I think he retired in the late 70s. And so anyway, he traveled with me and fished with me. But anyway, so now you get full rides to college. When you come out of college, we had a young man come out of Auburn University College, and he's won the Bassmaster Classic, which is the Super Bowl of bass fishing. He won the Bassmaster Classic back-to-back 2 times. Coming out of college, they are so well seasoned from fishing junior angler, high school clubs, then get into college, and now they come out of college and they are just spot on. So we have a whole new generation of young, unbelievable anglers out there right now. So, yes, sir.
Where's the best place to fish for bass around within 50 miles of here, and how has bass fishing in north central Florida changed?
So bass fishing in north central Florida is asked where's the best place to fish. Bass fishing in north central Florida is great. We have some outstanding areas. You know, if you really want to know, the best places are going to probably, most of those are going to be private, you know, little ponds and people's properties and things like that can be ridiculously good. But for public access, Orange Lake is one of the best in the world, not just in Florida, it's in the world. The last 3 or 4 years, they've caught them over 15 pounds. So they won every one of the, Florida has this trophy catch program, and it wins it every year, and they catch giants. My grandson caught a 11-12, so this is kind of interesting. Out of my bass boat, my grandson holds the biggest bass out of my bass boat. that I'm getting ready to sell. My last year's boat, my this year's boat, he just caught one yesterday about 8 pounds. So now he holds the biggest one out of my new boat too. So somehow or another, I got to pick up the pace. But anyway, so Orange Lake is truly an exceptional place to fish.
Good
Yes, sir.
presentation. Have you fished places like Africa, and have you fished crocodiles and hippo? That'd be great. You are welcome to fish with me at the Nile, White Nile.
So my trapper, Ron Sanderson, he says, man, I want to do it with the crocodile. He wants to catch a crocodile. And we have them, the saltwater crocs in South Florida. And my bucket list is not a crocodile, but my bucket list is going to do one of those big pythons. I want to grab one, because I kind of grew up snake hunting, and I enjoy that, and so I want to grab one. And we all, I mean, there's some young guys here, but most of us are aged, and we know, like, I've already had one surgery on this thumb, and this one's got to have it, but we get to where it's just too hard to grab. But I still have strength, so I'm going to do that. So.
Last question. How has technology changed the sport with GPS and fish finding, something like that?
I'll try to go quick. Technology is incredibly advanced. I run 4 Lowrance electronic units on there, and they would traditionally be called depth finders. We now have forward sonar, which is live sonar. So as pointing forward, and I would scan the room and see every one of you in the room. So now I see a fish moving. Then I have it use that same technology, turn sideways. It gives me scout mode. So I have this view. Right? I have this view. So now I can see if one person or one fish is moving left to right, right to left, going away, coming to me. And I can see the fish and make a cast to them. I have 2 units on the dash. I have mapping, which is incredible. I have side scan, which is what I use a lot, which is called structure can. So the technology advancement is way beyond anything that when we started, I had a flasher, right? And my buddy, Jerry Beavis, who got me into professional fishing, Jerry, we were trying to catch drum down in the Swanee River, mouth of Swanee, big schools of drum. He decided, let's try this since we'd lose them. We'd hook one and they're big enough, big 50, 60, 70 pounders, and you'd lose the school. So he took the flasher transducer puck and mounted it on his trolling motor, built a piece of wood, put it down there, mounted it out and forward to be able to spot them. And we started mashing them. We could be on them for hours. We'd catch 50 of those dudes. And I mean, just have so much fun, catch and release, catch and release, catch and release. And that was the first forward sonar back in the 70s, the early 70s. It was crazy. So anyway, that's how technology advanced from spiraling graphs and touching your rod tip to now having, electronics that tell you everything, satellite imagery and everything. So thank you very much.
Mr. Grigsby, thank you so much for speaking with us today. Really appreciate you being here. On your behalf, we'd like to make a donation to the Child Center for Early Learning.
Outstanding.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I'm honored for that.
Very cool. Oh, that was great. Next week, Linda Reinhardt will present the Service Above Self Award. So very exciting. Looking forward to that program. Quote for the week: "Nothing makes a fish bigger than almost being caught." And I have no one to attribute that to. That's an unknown source. The Rotary Reading Safari drawing number is 620-620. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. You're welcome.